All right, good morning, everyone. Still dark out, so nothing really to see inside my car while I go through the next week of readings from Wisdom from the Bible, Daily Thoughts from the Proverbs. So in this video, we are starting with June 19th. Much food is in the tillage of the poor. But there is, June 18th. June 18th. The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. Chapter 13, verses 19 through 21. The young man was basically a good person, but he didn't have too many friends. He didn't seem to fit in with too many groups, so he found himself hanging around with the less desirable crowd. They accepted him just as he was. He knew there were times when he should have refused to go along with them, but it just didn't seem worth the risk. Now he wasn't so sure. He was sitting in a police station, waiting to see what would happen. They had been picked up for vandalism, and even though he hadn't joined in the destruction, he was being held just the same. If we choose to follow in the footsteps of fools, we will also have to suffer the consequences. When we walk along blindly, we are in danger of falling into sin. We must watch our steps and turn from that which is evil. It is our obligation to flee from sin and evil. If we keep company with fools, we will be destroyed by our own folly. It is much better for us to surround ourselves with those who are committed to what is right and good. Then we will not have to fear the result, for God will see our efforts and He will reward us richly. The company I keep influences me greatly, O God. Help me to discern who I should have as friends and who I should avoid. Let my company be a blessing to others, and lead me in all your ways. June 19th. Much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment. Chapter 13, verse 23. The farmland was rich in minerals, and its produce was bountiful. The farm workers labored long and hard, and through their efforts the yield was high. Unfortunately, the laborers received little recompense for their hard work. The farm was owned by a large corporation, and the residents were all hired by the farm at low wages. Their land was taken from them, and they in turn were made slaves to it. Most of the farm workers were on the verge of starvation while they worked in plentiful fields each day. The injustice of it was all incredible but true. Their land was some of the most fertile in the world, but they were among the poorest of people. Injustice should touch us at the very root of our soul. That part of us which is in God's image should be enraged by the unfairness in our world, and it should be the Christ in us which compels us to try to fight injustice wherever we see it. We may not be rich or powerful, but we do control our actions and our resources. We have the ability to refuse to support others who would take advantage of the poor. We can speak out against injustice, and we can offer comfort to anyone who is persecuted. When we do this, we have the joy of our Heavenly Father. Ours is a world of great injustice and inequality. Please guide me that I might work to change the way things are. Open my eyes to the plight of the poor, and lead me in the ways that I might combat it. June 20th. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. Chapter 13, verse 24. Everyone envied Jim. His father allowed him to do anything he wanted. He wasn't expected to do any work. He never had a curfew, and he got just about everything he asked for. His father never yelled at him, and he never got in trouble. He seemed to have everything he could want. That's why it came as such a surprise when he ran away from home. When they finally found him, he told his friends that he couldn't take it anymore. He knew his father didn't love him. His father didn't care at all what happened to him. What had seemed so good to all Jim's friends turned out to be torture for Jim himself. We need guidance and instruction. There are times when we wish we didn't have to have it, but it is vital for us to grow. God gives us instruction out of love for us. We might think that it would be easier if God didn't give us His law, but eventually we would feel abandoned and unloved. God knows what is best for us in every situation, and we know of His love because He is with us to guide us every step of the way. We would be completely lost if we could not feel God's presence in our lives. Thankfully, we never have to worry about that happening. O Lord, I thank You for Your presence in my life. Though I often do not want to be told what I should do, I know that Your word is given out of love and concern for me. Make me open to Your instruction. June 21st. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. Chapter 13, verse 25. Two men had been friends throughout their lives. One man was extremely wealthy, having accomplished great riches throughout his life. The other man was well off, but he could hardly be considered wealthy. The rich man asked his friend, "Why is it you have so much less than I do, but you appear to be so much happier?" His friend replied, "I've always been content with what I have. You, on the other hand, have set one goal after another. Once you attain one goal, you set one higher. I've always had everything I wanted and lacked nothing. You've never been satisfied with what you had, but always wanted more." When we look at what we have and are thankful for it, we find that we are fulfilled. But when we are always longing for the things we do not have, then we find ourselves in want and we cannot be happy. The wise person looks not at what they do not have, but they concentrate on what is theirs. The fool ignores the blessings he or she has been given, and they focus on the things they wish they could own. So long as we look to the things we do not have, we can never be satisfied. But if we will be content with what we have, we will never have to know want. God has given graciously to us all. It is right to thank Him for His great gifts. O Lord, I cannot believe how much I have. I cannot thank You enough for all You have given me. Help me to remember that true wealth is not measured by what I own, but by the joy that You have put in my life. June 22nd. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despiseth Him. Chapter 14, verse 2. A man had a different girlfriend every few months. He would meet someone new, move in with her, grow tired of the relationship, and then move on. His life was fraught with loose morals and a lack of commitment. One girl once asked him to go to church with her. His answer to her was, "Look, I don't have much to do with God, and He doesn't have much to do with me. I'm not going out of my way to have some preacher make me feel guilty for living my life the way I want to." Wrongdoers usually know that what they do is wrong. They sense that they are not living as they should. They will avoid any situation which points that out to them. Many people who choose to walk in the path of sin react in anger to the idea of God. They do not want to believe in anyone who would tell them not to do the things they love to do. The person who tries to live a good life, doing what they feel to be right, embraces the idea of a loving God who rejoices in what is right. God will indeed make us feel guilty when we do what is wrong. Guilt is given that we might know when we have strayed from the right path, and it can motivate us to return to the place where we know we should be. O God, I often hide myself from you in shame at the things I know I should not be doing. I feel guilt, and it makes me feel alien to you. Bridge that chasm I put between us. Forgive my wrongdoing, and lift me high within your love. June 23rd. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. Chapter 14, verse 6. A girl sat in the circle of the Bible study and listened to the lesson being taught. When asked what she thought, she replied, "This is stupid." She folded her arms across her chest and leaned back in her chair. She tuned out the rest of the lesson, and afterwards she vowed never to return. A friend of hers said that she was being closed-minded, but she said, "I don't have time for this junk. I want to know how to live better, just like everybody else, but I don't think this helps at all." The girl never gave the group a second chance. It is interesting how some people can find the answers they are seeking in churches, while others seem unaffected. Partly, it has to do with the attitude we come with. If we are open to God and are willing to give him a chance to disclose himself, we will find him. But if we come skeptically and we scorn his power to change lives, then we block his effectiveness. For every attempt he makes to reach us, we come up with some excuse to explain it away, and we come away as empty as when we arrived. If we come before God unwilling to listen to his word, then we will never find freedom. We will never find wisdom. But when we are open-minded and willing to hear, God will grant us the knowledge we so desire. I come before you with an open heart and an open mind. Grant that I might have knowledge which passes human understanding. Guard me from doubt and disbelief. Open my eyes to your truth. And then the last one for this video, June 24th. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. Chapter 14, verse 9. A 15-year-old boy was left alone for the weekend while his parents were away on a trip. The boy had a group of his friends over, and while they were together, he suggested they take his mother's car out for a drive. A few of his friends protested, but he said, "Come on, my dad lets me drive sometimes. It won't hurt anything." "What if we get caught?" one boy asked. "We won't get caught. Quit being a chicken." The boys went out and got in the car. The young man drove out onto country roads and hit the gas. The car sped along, and all was fine until they came to a curve. The car was going too fast and skidded from the road into a tree. None of the boys were hurt, but the car was badly damaged. One of the boys said, "We won't get caught, huh? This is all your fault." When we mock sin and pretend that we can't be hurt by it, we are fooling ourselves. Sin has great power to hurt and destroy. Only a fool thinks otherwise. The wise man or woman knows the risk of sin, and they learn to avoid it. When we resist sin, we are walking in the favor of the Lord. Father, remind me of the danger of sin. Keep me from the things which can destroy me. Set my feet on the path of righteousness and never let me stray. Be with me as I journey, Lord. Amen. Okay, so I'll go ahead and end her there, and I will just see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone. God bless.